Hello, lacrosse friends. Welcome once again to ITWOBL. This is Inside the World of Box Lacrosse with Adam Levy and Greg Beecher for Blue Squash Productions. I am Steven Stamp. Very pleased to have you along with us. And I'm trying to keep the show open so I can see your comments, and it's not working because I'm old and not very good at tech. But we will manage it. Greg might have to feed us the comments again anyway. I don't know. I've got an ad and whatever. But we're going to start by looking at last week, week 10 in the National Lacrosse League. You guys, sometimes you have those weeks where just everything's falling into place. It feels like you got your flow going. You're in the zone. Everything's just perfect. I would be all about those. And the thing is, though, we get to watch lacrosse, write about lacrosse, and talk about lacrosse. So it's not so bad. But we will take a look at the results, which Greg pulled up and then realized we were just going to yammer for a while. So I'm sure he'll pull them back up, and we will look at how things went last week. And we're going to take a specific look at a couple of games. And here we go. Here are the results. And it was not a great week for us for picks. I went 4-3, which I was actually fairly happy to have it come out that way. You went 2-5. I hear Preston.
I'm sorry, you were breaking up. Did you mean 5-2, 2-5? I don't want to talk about my bad record.
Yeah. Does it make you cold? Is that why you're wearing a hoodie and a toque?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm in a bit of a cold streak right now. Not enjoying
it. How'd Preston do? I know he was sick last week when he had to make his picks. So
yeah, when he's sick, he's not doing great. I think I even put out a tweet saying we're thinking of putting him back on the practice roster because he's I think got 30% of his picks right in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you just gotta wait till he's fully healthy, right? You can't be playing at 50% and expecting.
Can't be rushing it back. Got to think long term.
Yeah, right. I mean, we're talking. He's got a whole career ahead of him.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's the results. The Halifax win over Vancouver, I think, was a bit of a surprise for a lot of folks. But Halifax played very well. Warren Hill seems to be getting his mojo back after losing the starting job for a bit. I was calling the Calgary at Ottawa game, which was a lot of fun. Had a blast with Jason Tassé beside me and Brianne Foley down between the benches. And that was a very impressive game. Speaking of goaltenders, for Cam McLeod, that was kind of a breakout game for him.
Yeah, it was a really important game for him to have, and it was just a continuation of the Calgary Roughnecks proving to the rest of us that they are far more capable than we thought that they were going to be. We really, I think, counted them out, too early in the season with the moves that they had made over the offseason. But yeah, I know that we had spoken last week and there was some interest, some intrigue around the goaltending situation. Colby Bowman, who we talked about, had been quite good, and he actually was bounced for Goa Abrams. So it was going to be interesting to see had now I'm blanking. Cam McLeod not been at his best, would Goa have gotten that chance? But now that has been postponed. Good to see Cam McLeod hitting that stride. Really important for him to do that, and also to do it against a capable, albeit struggling, Ottawa Black Bears offense. I think speaks even more to how impressive it was.
Yeah, Josh Sanderson actually in the pregame calls, he was saying, we can't look at what Ottawa has done on offense. We have to look at what they can do because we know how good they can be. In Calgary obviously took that approach. Their defense was excellent. I encourage you to go back and watch that game if you haven't seen it. It was Calgary was very good. And I'll tell you, if Cam McLeod can play like that every week, they're definitely a playoff contender. They have a chance to win a bunch of games. The reality is 23-year-old goalies don't necessarily play that way all the time. It's the reality of the position, right? It's a challenge. It's very up and down, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Rochester in Philadelphia, the Nighthawks kind of put things together, even with Will Shipley in the house, cheering on the Wings. The Eagles running back could not inspire them to a victory as Rochester pulls that one out.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those, another tough defensive performance from the Philadelphia Wings, and Nick Demude not up to the standard that we expect him to be at. You did see the absence of an energetic guy like Scott Dominey on the back end. Other guys like Connor Sellers and the rest of that defense tried their best. But the thing about Rochester is that they're so aggressive in their attack. I mean, they literally are top of the league when it comes to shots per game, and against a defense that has had some struggles like the Wings. We really saw that on full display. But, one thing that has been a pitfall for the Rochester Nighthawks is that they haven't been able to finish at the rate that they had last year, and they did that against the Wings this past weekend. So kudos to them. And
all
I
that
put out
happened without talking about Hartley. I mean,
I was
Ryan
just
Hartley
gonna
was
say,
back. Can we
talked about
please talk
goalies.
about that?
Yeah, I was gonna say we talked about goalies in every game, and we haven't even mentioned yet that Rylan Hartley came back, or Ryan Hartley, if you look at the broadcast. But Rylan Hartley back between the pipes, which Adam, you and I were talking about. We're saying, boy, Riley Hutchcraft's been good for them, and it seems a little bit of a rough shake for him to suddenly he's watching, but now I think and Rylan Hartley came back and he was his acrobatic self, does the splits all the time, which I hurt myself just watching him. But he's so acrobatic. He wasn't great in the game. He was good.
but he also coming back from injury, especially a lower body injury. He was quite flexible.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think that that's a good point that he wasn't at his peak performance. But I think the key differentiator, and Mike Hazen has not been shy to talk about it, is that Hutchcraft can be very good when he's got his angles right, and the defense in front of him can put him in the best situation. What we saw, and you can see it right there, it is those acrobatic stops, those ability to make the saves that you're not expected to make, and shake up the opposing offense with an acrobatic stop that I think makes Hartley such a guessing game for a lot of offenses. And it really proved to be frustrating for the Wings. And I know that, it is tough for Hutchcraft. I'm a big Hutchcraft guy, but it also has been something that Hutchcraft has said where whenever Hartley is ready, he knows that it's Hartley's position until it's not. So he's always been a big team guy.
That photo that Greg was just sharing is from IL Indoor. You should go and check out all of our stories on there. That is from either my 5 things. I think that's from my 5 things. Or is it the 3 up there?
5 things and talks about a goalie controversy.
Yes, yes, right. Like, who's the goalie? The thing I'm always going through the NLL photo shelter looking for pictures, trying to grab good shots that capture things. And there was one of Hartley. It was just a side view as he's kind of hunched back with most of them in the net, just his head poking out. And I was thinking, this is great. Hartley is back, right? And Hartley is back in the net. And his back is in the net. I thought that's pretty interesting. And I see this picture that is up on the screen. I'm like, yeah, that's the one. This is a guy coming back from a lower body injury.
And a little nerve-wracking at that moment where he reached back for the ball, and thankfully it looked like it was just a cramp, but he did need some help on the floor after he reached back to save a goal, and that was key. And I just want to give a shout out. I know that we're big fans of Mike McClellan at the NLL, and there's people at the NLL who do the player of the week and rookies of the week, and I feel like there are many guys that could have gotten it, and all due respect to Ryan Terefenko of the Thunderbirds. But, for what Connor Fields did, I had looked it up. He was only the 3rd player in the last 20 years to post 11 plus points and 13 plus loose balls in a game. For what it's worth, I would have had him as my player of the week, but I don't make that call. That's for the people who are running the show. But just wanted to give a shout out to the historic performance by Connor Fields.
Michael Carvelis must be just frothing at the mouth saying, Fields. He's a big Fields guy. Fair enough. I mean, great player.
As I am, one of the nicest guys in the National Lacrosse League. And, that gets thrown around a lot, but really salt of the earth human being, really one of the great guys in lacrosse.
Our final game of the week, we're going to take a look at quite a few highlights from Georgia and Las Vegas. We'll get into that in a minute. But right now, I just want to bring up the highlights from Colorado. We skipped a game here. Skipped a couple of games. We missed Toronto, Colorado, which we're going to go to. And there's Saskatchewan beating San Diego, another young goalie, Thomas Kaisak. But I think we need to get on to the highlights. So enough of looking at us. Let's look at some highlights. And I want to see, we have queued up the Chris Boucher, just spectacular plays here. Let's just watch this first one on the play from behind the net as he goes full Ryan Lee in his 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean, he really, has been a highlight of that offense. And we've seen that right side really step up You'd like a little bit more production from the left side of that Toronto Rock offense, but Chris Boucher has been a shining star, as we expected him to be, even back from his Halifax his Halifax days. But really stepping up, and with Tom Schreiber now back in the lineup with regularity, that is proving to be one of the most promising and fruitful right sides in the National Lacrosse League right now.
Yeah, I really want to take a look at this, because look at Boucher from behind the net. You can see his plan. Goalies tend to go high because guys tend to dunk high. And I love how Boucher is looking low. He sees where his option is going to be here, what's going to work for him. And it is down low, and he tucks it 5-hole, coming around the hard way. It's so much easier when you go to your backhand side. Look at this athletic play, and Smart is doing exactly what he's doing. Also, Josh Sawick's been really good on the right side too. But yeah, look at that play.
Yeah. And I mean, not to be cheeky, but you expect nothing less from someone from the Southern Hemisphere to shake things up and go down low. So
there you go. And then this one gets the shot. It's blocked. Goes against it. First of all, I really like Challen Rogers just clearing out here, drawing the defenders high. Chris Boucher sees he's one-on-one with Owen Down, who's having a bit of a tough season, I think. But look at this play, the athletic play. This is the one I'm talking full Ryan Lee right here. This, you see a goal like this in the Loud House in Denver, you think it's Ryan Lee.
Yeah.
Except he's wearing the number 21 for Toronto instead of the 16 for Colorado. But look at this. The horizontality, the reach. Beautiful.
Unbelievable. And this, speaks to, we've been talking about Toronto being on the rise, going into the Loud House and being fearless enough to attack the net and attack that tough Colorado defense, led by head coach and defensive-minded Pat Coyle. Yeah, very, very, very difficult to do, and they've been they've really been proving that they are ready to make the run that they weren't able to make due to injuries early on in the season.
So those two goals by Chris Boucher in the Loud House, and Ryan Lee, like we said, he's the guy you're used to seeing that from. So here's what he does. That's him to the very left of your screen with the knee brace on the right leg. He's going to go behind that. Go ahead and run it. And this is with the final few seconds of the first half. He comes out from behind the net. He's right in behind the crease. Look at that dive and going at top corner. That is incredibly difficult of a shot. Like Connor Kelly, kudos to him. He sells this shot fake and then makes the pass. Now look at Ryan Lee, how far. That's why I'm saying Boucher went full Ryan Lee, the horizontality, the reach. And I think that outdoes either of the Boucher goals. They were both great. This is spectacular.
I mean, he has what a happy sight it has been to see Ryan Lee fully healthy and really exerting all of his energy and effort to the Colorado Mammoth. But as you mentioned, Connor Kelly, who we've talked about a little bit so far on the show this season, but he has been one of the brightest spots and one of the focal points of that offense, making everything click. So really good for him to get that kind of play started.
Do we need to take a break, Greg, or should we roll through these? Do we want to come back and start with let's just roll right in. We're going to look at Georgia at Las Vegas in one of the Tucker Lymphoma Cup games. And we're going to look at
what a feisty game that was.
It was a feisty game. I want to talk about, maybe in the next section, we'll talk about the little controversy at the end, I guess. But I just want to look at Toron Eccleston. 4 goals, 4 assists. He played 2 games so far. He had a year off, and he had some injury issues he had to come back from. But he was a number 6 overall pick after a couple of great seasons in the WLA. And just watch what Toron Eccleston does here, the way he scores. He's got the bright yellow shoes, and he's just gonna go in and find a rebound on this first goal. Go ahead, Greg, and run it. Look at that. He picks it up, and you're thinking, easy peasy. He's on the crease, no problem. But watch how quickly he gets the ball with the full right one-hand extension, gets it up, makes sure of his feet, and gets the shot off as 2 guys are coming to hit him. This is a great play.
Picking up a loose ball right on the crease with one hand, with pressure bearing down on you, is never easy, especially for a rookie. But, as you mentioned, his junior career, he's been ready for this moment, for this transition. Played for Anthony Yoakum and the St. Joseph's Hawks in his senior year last year at the collegiate level. And I know that Anthony Yoakum was, although different teams, was happy to see him perform well. But yeah, this was an incredible effort, and it's all about doing more than just scoring and being available to
Pause it
pick up
there,
those
Greg.
balls like that. Unbelievable.
So this one, I'm thinking on this goal. First of all, his big seasons were in the WLA in senior. Actually, he was junior, good in junior,
Oh,
but
right.
those senior seasons where he scored like 56 and then 70 points, very, very good in his first couple of years. Playing for Anthony Jokum, who's bounced around but loves coaching down at St. Joe's. So after these first two goals, where he's wide open on the crease, the second one, just nobody's covering him. I'm thinking, let's cover this kid.
Yeah.
So then, because he's wide open there. Let's go to the next goal. And we're going to see there's Andy Secor, a little advice, like keep doing that.
Yeah.
I think was probably the gist of it. Here he is up top, and a little fake, this little pass fake and stutter completely sells the defenders again. Vegas had, we've seen some young defenders having trouble letting guys get underneath. In this one, you just can't go up. You'll see Gagliardi here, 27, completely heads up to the offensive zone. It's a little jumpy on my view, but when you watch this at regular, you can see the defender just heads up floor.
Yep.
Just leans. That's all it takes. And you've given that lane to Eccleston. Great athletic play.
Yeah, set up there also by a solid pick.
Yes.
But there was a couple of great moves there. One, the footwork to get around the first defender, but then of course the fake near the crease again. So it shows the creativity and athleticism all within one play.
And this fourth one, his fourth goal of the game, takes this pass. That's him getting the pass, and on this is bench transition. He gets across to the far side of the floor as a lefty coming second off the bench. And it's funny because the thing that really makes you jump up and say, wow, is flying horizontal going. That's all after the play. He's just standing at the crease there. He's made his reach. He's made the shot and tucked it far side without ever having to jump. He just does the dive to make sure he stays out, but it makes it look nice.
It does make it look nice, but also makes me nervous, especially watching it back. It looks like he's going straight for the post there, which, a head to a post is never a good thing, but he does avoid it, which is good.
No. Now this is that one.
Yep.
Love it. So he had 4 goals. His biggest goal of the night was a non-goal, which is the next one we're going to see. And here he comes off the bench, streaking in, dives, foot clearly clear, ball goes in. They wave it off. He's saying, let's challenge. They don't yet. Pause it for a sec, Greg. So he's asking for a challenge. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. I've gone back and watched it. It looked pretty good. The question would be, did his toes drag? Did he come down before? Did it hit the goalie? Whatever. But it would be definitely challengeable. Vegas goes down the other end. It's 14-11. That would make it 15-11. Vegas goes down the other end. Really nice play. It's Jackson Webster, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's this one on a really nice play as well. And I was thinking, Eddie Camo's got to have the challenge flag ready. I'm thinking as soon as this ball goes in to the Georgia net, you get that flag on the turf because it was within the window just to get the challenge out. And I would be throwing that challenge flag because if the Eccleston goal is good, it's 15-11. The Webster goal never happens.
Yeah,
right?
and
14-12.
Yeah, and I would say that, maybe I've noticed it a little bit more this year, but it did happen a bunch last year too, that I think that you're spot on where the coaches maybe need to be a little bit more, they obviously need to be careful at how often they're throwing the flag, but there has been many times where the clock has run out on them because they're either waiting for the in-house to play or they can't make up their mind, they can't see the replay, and then it's too late. And it's better to be safe than sorry. And like you said, in a situation like this, late in the game, I think that would have been valuable.
And they all have their video coaches with the iPad on the bench, and they're pulling that up right away and trying to get a look. But to me, it's like, if you're not sure, that's still worth the challenge. Again, it's easy to say now, but at the time I'm thinking, get that out there, get that out. As soon as that ball goes in the net, throw the flag, get it on the turf. But now this was a moment where we're going to watch this. We're going to have audio after this play, but watch John Rannigan in the white for Georgia with the right there. He's going to cross check one of the Vegas players into the crease.
Mm-hmm.
and he will be in the crease when the ball goes in the net. But the rule is and just pause for a second. Well, you know what? Just go ahead and run it with the volume.
After review, Georgia number 31 has a minor penalty.
I don't have any sound, do you?
Cross-checking. This penalty.
What Kyle Cropman, the referee, is saying is,
when the goal was scored.
oh,
got it.
Sorry.
Result, the goal counts. You have a good goal. The illegal cross-checking is washed by the goal.
Okay, so sorry about that, folks. I didn't realize that you could hear it, but yeah. So the Vegas players checked into the crease. It's an illegal check, so it's going to be a illegal cross-check penalty, which means the player, he has to work to get out of the crease, but the goal is not canceled because he's in there. Great explanation. I just love the explanation by Kyle Cropman in that instance, and you can see the player goes down. He actually tries to stay out of the crease, gets in, and the ball's already in before he can start to pop back up. So really good explanation, really good call.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings up, we're going to talk about the other call after, because we've already gone fairly long here. I want to look at one more. What thoughts on that, Adam, first, before we?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you make a great point that it is important. And I feel like there are many times, there's been quite a handful already this season of maybe controversial calls or complicated calls diving deeper into the rule book that have needed further explanation. So the fact that the ref could do that in real time instead of even having to go back and explain it, I think is very valuable. I have one example in particular. I was at the Philadelphia game against Vancouver at the very end when Sam LeClaire, the ball trickled off his shin in the dying seconds of that game that would have tied the game up. I believe it was 14-13 at the time, Vancouver over Philadelphia, and it was not explained in the arena as to why it was not a good goal, only that the player was in the crease, but the player had already been out of the crease at the time, so it was a little confusing. So, it is important for the fans and the viewers to kind of get a sense as much as we can in the moment. So I totally agree. Great refereeing there. Great explanation.
And to be fair, not all the referees are super comfortable going on the mic in front of a crowd of thousands of people. And one thing, you watch Kyle Cropman, and he takes a moment. He gets out there, gets set, and really composes himself. You can see he's preparing what he's going to say, and then he turns his mic on and he says it. I think that's part of it. He's great in the moment at calming, arousal management. It's a big play. This is a big call for the refs, right? Yeah. This is huge for them. So he wants to make sure he gets it right, and he does a great job.
Yeah, 6 minutes, 15 seconds in a 2-goal game. It's a huge call.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to watch one more goal from this game, and this is Miles Thompson scoring on an elite play by Lyle Thompson. That's Lyle number 4 at the top. Oh, no, that's Miles number 2 at the top. Lyle is already on the ground. Watch this pass, is unbelievable.
Yeah, Miles was what a great sight to see him back on the floor and excelling and really contributing for his team. He talked after this game about what it meant. I think it was this game, what it meant to be floor with his brothers and competing, and he really gave it his all and was a key contributor in the win.
Yeah, and that's all very nice, and this is a great shot. But look at this play by Lyle. That's what I really started. He's on his back, protects it with one hand, rolling over, backhand shot, bouncer, and it's not just a wild flail. He looks and sees. He knows Miles is there. So he takes a peek, spins himself on the floor, 2 defenders all over him. Well, one all over him and one coming, and he makes this bounce pass. Holy cow.
You almost seem surprised that Lyle Thompson can do that kind of thing.
No, I'm surprised anyone can do that. But
he is next level, as we know. What an acrobatic play. I mean, literally eyes in the back of his head there. Truly incredible.
Yeah, I mean, nothing Lyle Thompson does can really surprise you anymore, but I'm just in awe of this play. And we're going to wrap up the review and take a little break, and we'll be back. We've got some other things to talk about, including Canadians in the NCAA. We've got maybe talk about the little controversy in Las Vegas and whether it really warranted controversy, and much more coming on ITWOBL Week 11, 2025. For Adam Levy, Greg Beecher, I'm Steven Stamp. We'll see you in a minute.
Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your time. We know you could spend it anywhere. We appreciate you spending it with us. If you would like to comment on these videos live and have access to our Discord, please consider subscribing to our channel membership.